Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, April 27th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Enlightenment happens when a permanent wellspring of love is found on the inner world and then continuously reflected into your outer world. All there is love, love, love. Love is infinitely patient and intentionally kind. It is the deep, sweet nectar found inside your very soul. Love is the softness that opens your heart, quiets your mind. It accepts every aspect of who you are and who you are not. Love knows you, believes in you, and clearly sees exactly where you are in your life. Love has no limitations on what is and is not acceptable inside you. There are no boundaries around what love can and cannot approve of. It welcomes all your parts, inviting in the worst aspects of you with a warm, fuzzy heart and joyous, sparkling eyes. Love is the light that shines the way in the darkest hour of our lives. It ignites the first fire that guides our spiritual path, beckoning us to rise up and out from our darkest misery, to surrender and merge with great healing's source of our being. Love is always fearless, always courageous, and always present. It is never wrong, never misguided, and is never, ever afraid. It is the perfect state that cannot be improved upon. It is always accessible, always available, and always, always, always here now. Love is always generous, completely abundant, constantly giving to others as well as to itself. It is like the sun, an inexhaustible outpouring of life energy that shares its bliss for the pure exhilarating joy of it. It is the eternal, infinite, inexhaustible source of life. Love says you deserve even more love, especially when you don't feel worthy of it. It invites you to surrender all your resistance and remember how perfect, scared, and utterly lovable you are. You truly are. Love feels all of your pain with you, holding your hand through your life's most panicked moments and never letting go. Love honors your deepest wounds, helping you to see how they are your greatest teachers. It is absolutely an absolute empathy, sympathy, and has the most profound compassion possible for you. Love breaks down the walls of what we think is not possible. It inspires us to step into our life mission and highest potentiality. Love is the flame that ignites the great bonfire within us, needed to burn through our limiting beliefs so we can manifest the most amazing life imaginable. Love is the most amazing experience that we can have in this entire universe. It is the most gentle, exquisite feeling that is conscious, scared, sacred, sweet, and tender. Love is the most amazing experience that we can have in this entire universe. It is the most gentle, exquisite feeling that is conscious, sacred, sweet, and tender. It holds you so softly and with such a strength that it sends tingles all the way up your spine. Love is the cure for every physical disease, every mental illness, and unbearable emotional wounding we may have. Love opens and relaxes every tension, immediately liberating us from all anxiety and worry. Invoking love into our body, it heals us instantly, awakening every cell to remember absolute perfection. Love is the doorway to eternal life. Love is devotion itself, fully committed to expanding our hearts into our lives. Love is the deepening and softening of our breath that awakens the healing purpose of our soul. It is the permanent, authentic smile within us, forever giggling at our worries, knowing the deepest possible joy is the foundation of our existence. Love paves the path for the greatest orgasmic experience of our lives. It transforms ordinary sex into a sacred healing experience. Love unites lovers to merge and melt into the one divine source. It is the most personal, intimate, and deeply sensual experience we can have. Love is the spiritual energy that brings the highest form of life into existence. What is love for you? So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure we all are. Now, the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies we are in. Through the breath. Easy and slowly in through the nose. Easy and slowly out through the mouth. And what this does is it moves you into the now and out of the ego mind and subconscious mind. You still them. You are not engaging them or interacting with them. You still them. So no mind chatter. That goes away. No worry, stress, fear, anxiety. That goes away. In the now is the only place we have. Now, the ego mind, it doesn't want you to go into the now because it doesn't exist in the now. See? So it'll do everything it can to keep you either in the past or the future or the past, back and forth, all at once. And this is when we commit to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves at all times, and to be in deep gratitude all the time. All the time, no matter what's going on. No matter, what's going on in your life. Gratitude. You'll always find areas that you can be grateful for. You'll never not be able to find anything. You'll always find things. Even in the worst of storms, you'll find gratitude. It's imperative to be in gratitude. Now, I'm not saying at times it's a little pulling to say to yourself, what can I be grateful for in this time? But as soon as you start doing that and focusing on the gratitude, all that other stuff goes right out the window. These are key steps for each of us to take, knowingly. Is it difficult to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself? Is it difficult for you to be in deep gratitude? See, because the ego's there trying to get, anger, frustration, disappointment, upset. See what I mean? That's the ego mind. And so if it doesn't come to you when you care for it to come to you, then you get ego mind. Frustrated, angry, irritated, upset. And what does that do for us? It lowers our vibrational frequency. You can argue till you're blue in the face with that. It lowers our vibrational frequency, and then what happens after that? Lower vibrational frequencies will come spewing in. Once we figure this out, once we know, totally, complete trust and faith, then we're able to master it. We catch ourselves not going there. your mind might, your ego mind might be going over in this dark area, right? And you'll say, I'm not going to go there. And it goes away. And you tell your ego mind, you're not in charge here. You may have to say that 100, 1,000 times a day in the beginning. You're not in charge here. To be detached, not attached, is paramount for all of us. And it doesn't mean we don't care. It doesn't mean that we've given up. It means that we don't choose to have an attachment to any outcome. To have no attachment to any outcome in this life. No expectations. Now, it is a fine line, of course. You intend, you let go. That's it. You send your intention out one at a time to the universe, detailed, one thing at a time, and then you let go. But when we get on a schedule and we need this and we need that and we need this here and need that here, and we get stressed out and frustrated, and we lower our vibrational frequencies. And that takes us down. That's why there's so many disappointments on the planet. The reason you have disappointment is because you had expectation. This is all connected to us, each and every one of us. This is part of the in journey within. This isn't about out there. We've done that for countless lifetimes. Don't you think it's time we step in within ourselves and stay within ourselves, discover the power that we are, the true magic that we are, all the high vibrational frequencies that we do possess, the deep faith and trust in the universe, your best friend, our best friend. These are lessons that we pick up about ourselves. You're not able to do that when you go outside, right? It's not possible. Because what's running you outside? Ego mind, subconscious mind. And it isn't, there's no negatives here that some of us have decided to go within. It doesn't make us any more than anybody else. We just decide to go within. And we lose the fear of losing things, right? We lose the fear of losing things. Because when we go within, that means that we have built enough faith and trust in ourselves and trust and faith in the universe. So our worries, stresses, fears, anxieties, angers vanish. So the universe will send us things all the time. It always is, 24/7. Usually we don't notice them. We really don't. When remember, everything that's out there is in the unknown. Our little comfort zones that we all establish through this life. This is when, as the body ages, we tend not to go outside that comfort zone. We tend to stay in it even more, hunkered down. When, and in reality, it's a proven fact that the more risk you take, the older the body gets, the longer you live. And I know that sounds strange, but they have done factual analysis and experimentation with that for quite a few years, and they have found it to be true. Sedentary, withdrawn. You know how many people their bodies age and then they withdraw more and more? I'm too old to take that risk. I'm too old to do this. And guess what? Self-prophecy. They're too old then. We don't know our power. We don't know our power. And that's one of the biggest things that we discover within ourselves. Knowing our power. It's like you walk up to something heavy, right? Now your eyes And the ego mind says you can't lift that. It's too heavy. Right? But you can. You get enough people with you, along with you, you can lift it. See what I mean? You can lift it. Not necessarily you alone, but you included with others together, combined in unity, can lift it. That's what this is all about. Unity. All of us coming together on this planet, putting aside all of the ego mind stuff and the subconscious mind stuff, where we hang on to this dogma that we're taught as children, carried through our adult lives, where we hang on to it and drag it with us. Well, this is what I learned with this religion growing up, so therefore I, have different viewpoints, which is fine, but how are we ever going to advance as a civilization if we're so fragmented from each other? And in reality, we're all one. You see the illusions that have been played upon this civilization. The illusions. And they're good illusions because they sure as heck have tricked us all many lifetimes. But it's being in unity. Have you ever been in a feeling, right, through your heart, where everything was good? Things were just floating for you. You were almost euphoric. And everything was just dropping in front of you. Do you know why that is? Because you touched the God that you are within, and you were in sync with the universe. That's why. That's all the time. It's not once in a while. That's what we would experience all the time. I'm not talking about a bunch of naturally high humans. I'm talking about being in a place within oneself that is total peaceful, loving, and in deep gratitude all the time. That's the God that we are. The illusion, right, is the material physical world. That's the illusion. That's what gets us off track. And it depends on how each of us look at it, is what it comes down to. How do we look at it? Do we look at the suits that the gods wear? Do we? Or do we look at the gods within the suits? We all know that hatred begets hatred. Anger begets anger. It's not it's common. We know this. More hate, more anger breeds more hate, more anger. More love, more peace breeds more love, more peace. Doesn't it make sense? It has nothing to do with intellect. It has everything to do with heart. The heart, right? The thing that pumps the blood through these bodies. It has everything to do with the heart. The love, peace, the joy. Everything to do with it. Imagine if each of us were to take a few times a day, a few hours a day, concentrate on the love that we are. Focus on the love that we are in the now. Focus on the breath in the now. A couple times a day, 2-3 times a day, randomly. No set schedule or time or anything, just randomly. And we begin to practice that. Are we practicing to get something out of it? No, we're practicing it to discover who we are. Right now on this planet, we're all experiencing a flurry. And it's a continual flurry, not intermittent, of activity. Not knowing what direction to take, what to believe, who to believe, how to believe, instead of turning within ourselves and believing in ourselves. And then you can choose. You can choose either to be in the goop, right, which is lower vibrational frequency, worry, stress, fear, anxiety, anger, hatred, or in the love light with oneself. Everything depends on you. Everything revolves around you. This isn't ego mind. This is the heart, the God. Because until you discover who and what you are, how are you going to be around others? When someone teaches you something, now they don't necessarily know they're teaching you something, but when they teach you something, you can either look at it and say, what are they teaching me? What am I learning from this? What's the signal here? You might see a number during the course of your day or the course of a week or two, and the number keeps showing up. And at first you just go out, you don't correlate it, you don't adjust it, and you say, it keeps showing up. Wonder why that number keeps showing up. What does this number mean? And then you go to the numerology and you start figuring out what that number is. This happens a lot, but a lot of us just ignore it. We don't take that. We don't identify it. When something shows up 3 times in the course of one day, it's a message. I guarantee you it's a message directed directly to you. There isn't happenstance or coincidence. Those do not exist. So, excuse me, when this happens to you, it happens to all of us, more than we know. Then you're curious. You want to know what that means. What is that? And it's a neutral ground because it's not negative or positive, because you haven't discovered what the meaning is. This is part of going within. Concentrating on love, focusing on love, peace, joy, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, and deep eternal gratitude. Deep eternal love. That's what this life is about. Goodness gracious, we've learned enough of the pain and suffering, even though we're the ones that created it. Everything happening on this planet, there's no happenstance and there's no coincidence. The universe engineers everything absolutely divinely with divine perfection. So how can that be? Well, we create the very thing at times that we dislike. And without knowing who and what we are within, this is going to continue to go on. When you view all the pain and suffering, because we all know it, there's nothing that we are not aware of as the gods that we are on this planet. So with all the things happening, all the suffering, the pain, anxiety, torture, hatred, anger, conflict, obstacles, since we're all one, we all feel it through the God within the body. It is absolutely imperative that we switch our direction within to the gods that we are, to the love that we are, to the happiness, the joy, the peace, the gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness that we truly are. Then all this stuff that we've accumulated will vaporize, won't exist. So focusing on the breath in the now is absolutely paramount. I'm not saying that it is a real cinch for some of us, because we're in that habit lifetime after lifetime. You could sincerely wake up in the morning and feel good, right? something trivial, really trivial, a ding in the door of your car or something, or receiving something that you were expecting in the mail or from someone, and your whole mood changes. You ever experienced that? None of us are exempt from it. Your mood shifts immediately. And then everything seems to gather, be attracted. So if you're angry, you become angry, frustrated, irritated. Then what happens? More stuff. More stuff is accumulated. Now imagine that you can say, not going there. I'm not going there. And so you don't take that path. And you don't get angry, frustrated, upset, irritated, rushed, hurried. See, it's a choice. It's knowing. We put out, each of us, over 60,000 thoughts a day. Now, that doesn't mean we know every single thought we put out, because we don't. We also are bombarded with programs, tens of millions and tens of billions, that fly by us like clouds in the sky. They aren't ours. They're everyone else on this planet throughout the generations and existences. But, the ego mind tricks us, and we embrace some of those, and we fly off with them. You could be in the now, right in this very moment, and thoughts start coming in, and you're drawn away from the now and off to another area. And the ego mind has a lot to do with this. Because remember, it does not want you to be in the now. And then, see, in the society and the rat race on this planet, everybody hurrying to get to the top. Everybody's scraping and hurrying and worrying and stressing and fearing. It doesn't work in the material physical world to have, if people say to you, what are you going to be doing a year from now? What do you have planned for tomorrow? You see what I mean? Now, when you're in the now, you don't have that. Well, people say, well, then you've got a plan. How are you going to live life without planning and organizing and structuring? How are you going to do that? That's the rat race. That's the dictatorial ego mind rat race. It is no different than getting in that raft and gutting it out against the current to get to the top of that river, to get to the end. It's so different. Rather than sitting, how many people do you think would walk to the edge of that river, watching, everybody's watching those who are grimacing, beet red faces, soaked from head to toe, fighting that current. And then those that are just floating down, letting the current take them. How many people would get in the boat with no oars and let the current take them? It'd be interesting to watch, wouldn't it? Because the unknown is where all the possibilities are for all of us. It's always been the unknown. Do you know when you make a decision if it's the right decision? Not really. You kind of have a feeling that maybe it is. But when you make that decision, you go with it. And whatever the outcome is, the outcome is. It doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be, spot on every single time. It might miss the target. You probably heard the adage, not every steak is a bad steak. You might be at a restaurant, you eat something, you drink something that really makes you sick, you never forget about it, and you never touch it again. Okay, that's the ego mind. Then there's the other person who says, it just happened to be bad, and then they eat the same thing, and it was wonderful. But not many people will do that. Being in a state of love for thyself is paramount. Being gentle, kind, generous, and humble with thyself is paramount. In this life, in any life. Oftentimes we look, kind of reflect on things, right? Have you ever reviewed your life? Not in judgment, but just out of curiosity. Where I came from, where I'm at, what I'm doing to yourself, you know. You kind of get an inventory of your life and where you're at. And are you happy? And if not, why? And are you sad? If you are, why? These are things that we reflect upon and we look at. From time to time, some of us do, not all of us. Because we're such in a hurry to get to the top of the mountain. When you know this, you are an ascended master. You are Buddha, Maitreya. You're all the ascended masters. You're the God. You're the kingdom of God. You're the heaven. Heaven is not a place. It is you. The place, heaven, the pearly gates, however you want to describe it, is a matrix generated by a massive holographic generator. Just like this whole universe is a holographic, digital, generating universe. And this is the one of the most important things for us to understand is that how, just you, this is just, you're talking about you, how do you want this life to be? How do you want this planet to be? Period. For you. And each of us to take the time and the understanding to do this. And discovering what you really want. We know for a fact that if we keep our energetic vibrational frequencies high, genuinely high, right? We have no attachments, no possessions, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies bugging us, hanging on us, being dragged with us. It's automatic to know that. And you practice it enough, and then you become immersed into knowing that now you might be, you're faced with a situation, right? And you have a choice, and it's a pretty quick choice, right? So it's like a turn on the dime. You're going to either be angry, right, or you're not. That's the choice that you make. This person's really upset me. I'm going to be angry with them, and I'm going to be combative with them, and I'm going to get revenge on them, right? We've all been there. Or we say, I forgive them, so I'm forgiving myself. And it doesn't mean that you allow others to just totally use you as a mop for a dirty floor. It means that you choose what direction you're going to go. Nobody else, not the other person, but what direction are you going to go? Now, you know, see, through the heart mind, you know that, well, now if I take this direction, the low road, the dark matter road, it's going to attract more dark matter to me. As soon as I make that decision and I emotionally fall down that slope, now I take the other direction of deep eternal love, gratitude. What am I grateful for in this instance, in this situation? What are they teaching me? You shift and you keep a higher state of vibrational frequency, which therefore doesn't put you into the lower ends of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequency. And then you will get more, and the inner universe will keep sending you more of it. You know how long it takes you to get out of anger? It takes a bit to get out of anger, doesn't it? To recover from it. But does it take a long time to recover from love? No. There's no recovery. It's instantaneous. And the higher vibrational frequencies are instantaneous. It's the old adage, you either take the high road or low road. And it's all about downstream thinking. And it's all about being positive, genuinely positive. It's just like when you look at this planet from afar. And you view the planet. You're not judging the planet. You're just looking at the planet. And you say that you can see all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. You can see them all, clear as a bell, super sharp. And you say, well, I would like this lower dark matter, survival matter frequency to disappear so I can bring in more positive, high, uplifting, love, light energy. Now, when you bring that in, it's going to eliminate the lower dark matter, survival matter frequency. So as you look at the planet in your quiet time in this particular meditation, you're going to see through your heart mind a lot of stuff. And each of us view it kind of, differently. It depends on our perspectives on how we view it. And so as you peruse the planet, you can move anywhere. You're above it, below it, in it, on it, around it. So you can instantaneously, right? So collectively we create, you create, and we all create this kind of a containment, okay? So the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies and the AI goop, okay, that's there too. That runs when you try to look for it. The negative AI. And all the subversions of AI facsimiles, people that appear to be a certain way that aren't, so on and so forth. And so you create this shimmering field, and the field is translucent, but yet you can see the sparkle and the shimmer of a golden white pink light. And it is not like anything you've ever seen before. It is so brilliantly bright and vibrant that nothing compares to it. And you can see as it shimmers around, and it literally saturates everything on the planet, permeates it. And you watch as the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, AI goop, begin to start losing gravity. In other words, they start to ascend or lift off the planet. No matter how embedded they are, no matter how attached, period, they lose their grip. Nothing can keep them grounded. And they start elevating up into the atmosphere. Now you see this shimmer, right? But the shimmer is coming from, you look at the up in the sky, and the sky is a golden white pink light. It's brilliant. 1 billion trillion suns couldn't even come close to it with these different colors. So you have this shimmering, translucent field of energy, which is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest eternal love. And then you watch as the lower dark matter, survival matter frequency, and the AI goop start to lift off the planet. And it looks like as the shimmering in the atmosphere, just the shimmering, not the sky yet, they start to break apart and dissipate. And by the time they reach the sky, they're gone. There isn't even a molecule left, or an atom or a quantum quark. They're gone. Absorbed in to the deep, eternal, loving light energy. Their frequency cannot withstand or sustain itself in that high of a frequency. It isn't painful. It just, they cease to exist. Their consciousness, everything, ceases, is absorbed into the one God, all of us. And you can watch this as long as you choose, as many times as you would like. And understand that in the now and through the heart mind, the ego mind doesn't exist. But you will know that you've slipped out of it if the ego mind starts affecting you. Oh, this is silly. Oh, this is so stupid. Little old me, I can't make any difference. This is fairy tale. This is ego mind trying to get you out of the now. Because whatever you intend, and you keep that frequency, it will manifest. All of us must know that. Whatever we intend, clearly, concisely, and precisely, in detail, each of us intending one thing: beautiful planet, free of lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, free of dis-ease and sickness, free of many things. That's our intent. Focus on that in the quiet time of this guided meditation. And I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose. Slowly, easy breath out through the mouth, easy and slowly. In this day and age, every person needs to experience some type of illumination. You are that person. Your greatest assignment is to let yourself be illuminated by your own presence. Buddha once said, be a light unto yourself. Let your light shine everywhere you go. As if a profoundly loved and honored person had just entered the room. Be it lit up by your own vibration, and you'll light everyone's as well. With all your heart every day, celebrate this magnificent, divine, magical, manifesting being that you already are. We'll return here tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call. And Thursday, April 28th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our Global Guided Meditation call.